All things Mavs.
What's up, Mavs fans? You guys asked for it, so we're back with another trade mailbag here on All Things Mavs. And since it's the offseason, I'm feeling pretty generous, and I want to answer all your questions as much as possible all throughout the week. So if you want to get on the next mailbag show, if you want your question to appear here live on screen, use hashtag Mavs in the comment section below and send me any and all Dallas Mavericks related questions you have, just like King of Three did here. And this is our trade mailbag, so he went with hashtag trade. Dallas sends Seth Curry and the 18th pick to the Orlando Magic for Aaron Gordon. Interesting trade idea, and I know that Aaron Gordon is on the block. In fact, I've seen many people predict that he will be the biggest name to get traded this entire offseason. However, I had to tweak this idea just a little bit because just Seth Curry, the money doesn't work there. So instead, I threw this together. You got Seth Curry, you throw in DeLon Wright, who I think a lot of Mavs fans want to get rid of anyway, and the 18th pick in exchange for Aaron Gordon. Now, let's break it down before I give you my opinion on who says yes or who says no, and let's look at what the Mavs' new starting five would look like with Aaron Gordon in the mix. Now, you got Luka Doncic and Tim Hardaway Jr. in the backcourt. That doesn't change, except instead of Tim Hardaway Jr. as a starting forward, now he's back in the two-guard role because Seth Curry is no longer there. Dorian Finney-Smith is your starting small forward. Aaron Gordon takes over the power forward position, and Kristaps Porzingis remains your starting center. Now, you put their numbers side by side, and for a high lottery pick in Aaron Gordon, you'd expect his numbers to be a little bit better. But in all reality, they don't really jump off the screen at you. 14 points per game and 8 rebounds for the forward out of Arizona with the Orlando Magic, but his three-point shooting has not come around. He only shot 30.8% from three this year. Now, Seth Curry, on the other hand, and you've got him at a better discount than what Aaron Gordon's at, 12.4 points per game, 2 boards, 2 assists, but the difference is he's playing about 9 minutes less than Aaron Gordon, and he's shooting 15% better from three at 45.2. So if I'm the Dallas Mavericks, I say no deal. I think the 18th pick can get you something a little bit better if you package that with Seth Curry. And with Luka Doncic, you want all the shooters on the floor that you can get. And Seth Curry at 45%, you can't get much better than that. But if you do want Aaron Gordon, if you're in the camp that you actually want him in Dallas, and I wouldn't mind seeing him in Dallas, just not for that price, what would you trade? What would you offer the Magic in exchange for Aaron Gordon? Let me know in the comment section below. Come up with your best trade scenario. Maybe I'll take a look and I'll tweak it once again. Make sure that money works, but I want to see what you guys got. Now, today I'm wearing a proud sponsor of All Things Mavs from Red Peg Tees. When you go to redpegtees.com and use that promo code REDPEG20, you'll get 20% off your entire order. They are making the coolest and most unique Dallas Mavericks shirts that you can find on the entire internet, so go to redpegtees.com. You can even pick up the shirt that I'm wearing here on air right now. They just came out with a brand new Luka Doncic shirt. You can get it, again, at redpegtees.com and use that promo code REDPEG20. One of my favorite shirts that I have is the 77 MVP shirt. You know why? Because Luka Doncic is going to be an MVP next season. All right, let's move on to Xavier Cooper with this trade idea. Victor Oladipo to the Dallas Mavericks for Tim Hardaway Jr. and possibly another throw-in player or a future draft pick. Okay, that doesn't get it done. Victor Oladipo is a former All-Star. Yes, he's coming off an injury, and he's definitely not recuperated as many expected him to. But so I tweaked it. I made it a little bit better. I made it a little bit more fair on both sides. Victor Oladipo to the Dallas Mavericks, and you trade Tim Hardaway Jr. Your throw-in player is Justin Jackson. Instead of a future pick, you make it the 18th overall pick. Now, if I'm the Pacers, I still say no to this one. I think there are better offers out there, like from the Miami Heat or other teams that might really, really want Victor Oladipo. But if this were to happen, the Mavs are going to be in good shape. Now, remember, Tim Hardaway Jr. does have a player option worth $19 million that he would need to opt into to make this trade work. But should it happen, now you got Luka and Seth, so you got an elite three-point shooter alongside Luka Doncic and Seth Curry. You add Victor Oladipo to this team with the big three of now Kristaps Porzingis, Luka, and Oladipo, and you still have Dorian Finney-Smith's defensive ability at the forward position. Now, if the Mavs were to trade for Victor Oladipo, they would not be getting 2017-2018 Oladipo. However, if you're going to offer Tim Hardaway Jr. and an 18th pick, you're probably going to get more of the value of 2019-2020 Oladipo. And I remember 2016-2017 when he was with the Thunder, he wasn't anywhere near his full potential. Then the next year, he becomes an all-star in Indiana. 23 points per game, 5 boards, and 4 assists. Next year takes a little bit of a step back, and that's when he hurts his leg 18 points per game and 6 boards. And then this past year, in only like 14 games, he put up 14.5 points per game and 3.9 rebounds. He's not 100% right now, but maybe a full year with the Dallas Mavericks training staff could change that. Now, here's the 3 guys that I think you could trade for Victor Oladipo in Tim Hardaway Jr., DeLon Wright, and Justin Jackson. Now, Tim Hardaway Jr., you're trading a guy who's giving you 16 points per game and shooting a career-best 39% from 3. Meanwhile, DeLon Wright and Justin Jackson, as Xavier Cooper mentioned, are more of those throw-in players. I think those will be 2 guys that are definitely on the move this summer for the Dallas Mavericks. I think they will definitely look to trade them somehow, some way, and maybe package some draft picks with those guys. Victor Oladipo's probably on the move this offseason. I truly think he could be a guy that's going to be a true trade candidate. So what I want you guys to do is scroll down to the comment section. Let me know who is one realistic trade target you want the Mavs to pursue this offseason. So don't give me some crazy name like Anthony Davis or someone like that or Kawhi Leonard. Give me someone realistic that you can think of and shout it out. And if you shout it out, I want you to give me the best trade scenario you have for that guy. Now let's go to AV with this trade question. He says, Jimmy, I really want to know your opinion about this move. Dallas gets Jrue Holiday and Darius Miller for Tim Hardaway Jr., Dwight Powell, Justin Jackson, their 2020 first-round pick, and 2 future second-round picks. You know what I appreciate about AV? He made sure the money worked on this one because it does. I ran it through the trade machine. I made sure that everything worked, and it worked out perfect because Darius Miller has a non-guaranteed contract worth $7 million next season. Jrue Holiday has a player option in 2021-2022. Meanwhile, Tim Hardaway Jr. with his player option, assuming he opts in, and then you have Dwight Powell and Justin Jackson's contract. The money actually fits perfectly in this one. If I'm being honest, I don't hate this trade. Now, I still think the Pelicans are the ones that say no, but if the Dallas Mavericks get this call and they can get a Jrue Holiday for a guy like Tim Hardaway Jr. and a injured Dwight Powell, I think you take this trade 100 times out of 100. Luka and Seth Curry in the backcourt, and now you have your defensive playmaking guard and a veteran in Jrue Holiday, who runs probably at the 3-guard position, or a 3-guard lineup with Rick Carlisle, and then Porzingis and, of course, Finney Smith, the mainstays there at the forward and center position. Now, like I said, Jrue Holiday does have a player option in 2021-2022 worth $26.3 million, which is a lot of money for a guy like Jrue Holiday. But at 30 years old, and what this New Orleans team is doing, it doesn't really fit their timeline. And if he's saying, hey, I'm going to opt into that contract or even opt out, Pelicans may be looking to move him and get value for him while they still can. This past year, he was sensational for New Orleans as their veteran leader at 19.1 points per game, 4.8 rebounds, and 7 assists, shooting better than 35% from 3, and he was their anchor on the defensive side of the ball around the perimeter. And that's what the Mavs are missing, that defensive-minded guard who can guard 1 through the 3 position. That's what Jrue Holiday is, and he's a true veteran leader. So you saw the trade idea. You saw Tim Hardaway Jr., Justin Jackson, Dwight Powell, this year's 18th overall pick, and 2 future second-rounders for Jrue Holiday and Darius Miller, who would be more of a throw-in. So who says no to that deal? Got to scroll down to the comment section and let me know. NOP for the New Orleans Pelicans or DAL for the Dallas Mavericks. Now, here on All Things Mavs, we're doing some incredible stuff. We're up over 6,000 subscribers. I'm trying to hit 7,000 very, very soon, and I need your help. So scroll on down and hit the big red button, or I'll make it easy for you. I'll put it in the description, and I'll put the link in the comment section. So all you got to do is click it and become one of our over 6,000 subscribers, and hopefully we'll be talking about being over 7,000 subscribers very, very soon. Thank you guys for subscribing and hitting that notification bell as well. Let's go to one more trade idea, this one from Thomas Boatwright. Thomas says he thinks that we should just do Justin Jackson and a pick to get Harrison Barnes back on the Dallas Mavericks. Thomas, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you sending in the trade idea, but this ain't happening. Not for the Mavs and not for the Kings. Now, first of all, the money doesn't even work. Harrison Barnes is making a lot more money than Justin Jackson. So if you really want Harrison Barnes back, you're probably going to have to do this. And I'm just going to ask you right now, is it worth it? Justin Jackson, DeLon Wright, and Boban, who everyone loves, and the 18th overall pick for a guy that we already know doesn't fit this Maverick system anymore in Harrison Barnes. Now, I appreciate what Harrison Barnes did here in his time on a tanking team. He was trying to be the face of that, and he was trying to help rebuild, and he was great in the community. I get all of that. But Harrison Barnes as a player did not work with Luka Doncic one year. It ain't going to work with Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis the next year. And he still has 3 years, $61 million left on his contract. That's a big no thank you from me. Now, when he was with Dallas, his numbers were solid. I mean, they were good. But let me talk about why it didn't work. You saw in 2016-17, he is the face of that team, which is really weird to think about. Just 3 years ago, we were talking about Harrison Barnes as the face of the Dallas Mavericks, putting up 19 points per game. The year after that, 18.9 points per game with he and Dennis Smith Jr. and Nerlens Noel as the face of the Dallas Mavericks. And then the next year with DeAndre Jordan, Luka Doncic, Dennis Smith Jr., Harrison Barnes, putting up 17 points per game, and then he gets shipped out halfway through the season. Now, if it were to happen, here's what your starting five looks like now. Luka, THJ, KP, Dorian, and now Harrison Barnes. Here's the problem. Harrison Barnes and Dorian Finney-Smith are both power forwards in small forward bodies, and it does not work. Harrison Barnes is a ball stopper. If he gets the ball in his hands, he's not looking to pass. He's going to look to shoot. You know what they all called him on Twitter? Bird Box Barnes. If you don't know that one, you can go look it up because he ain't looking to pass the ball when he gets it. So I don't want Harrison Barnes back. Not even for Justin Jackson and a pick. It's not worth it. He's not that good of a player anymore. He's got way too much money invested into him, and he just doesn't fit this Dallas Mavericks timeline or what they're trying to do. So, Thomas, I appreciate the trade idea, but this is a hard no from me, and I would hope a lot of Mavs fans around the world as well. Now, he is a former Maverick, and I know here on All Things Mavs, and with a lot of Mavs fans, we have love for our former Mavericks, and we want them back on the team no matter where they are. So, if you could pick one former Dallas Maverick to bring back to Dallas this year, who would it be? Now, for me, it'd probably be Dirk Nowitzki in a coaching position, but if not him, I'm going to say Jay Crowder, and you guys already know. I love him, and he's a free agent, so he could be back in a Maverick uniform next season. But let me know who you would pick in the comment section.